good, YouTube? SlenderRevolutionX here, coming to you guys today with my Yosenju Ghostricks profile. Now, a little backstory on this deck. Ghostricks have been one of my favorite archetypes since they came out. Just cute, adorable things, love it. And I've been trying to find a way to incorporate them to be competitive. Now, what I based this deck off of was Jeff Jones' top 8 Michigan Regional of the Spirit Ghostricks deck. And as we all know, Yosenjus kind of operate along the Spirit basis in the fact that they bounce back to your hand at the end of the turn. They were normal summoned. So I decided to make a little play on that. Had pretty good success with the deck so far. So, that being said, let's dive into it and I'll let you guys give your take on it. Alright, so let's begin with our Yosenju core. Obviously, 3,1s, 3,2s, 3,3s. They're pretty self-explanatory. Each of them does their own thing. One searches, one bounces, and one can attack directly for half damage. They all have their bonuses and they all have their pitfalls. Pretty self-explanatory. 2 Sujiks, the Blackwing Kalute of the deck. And 2 Yosenju Senchu L. The best of the 2 Senchus. And a pretty good card for this deck. And that'll be all for the Yosenju cards of the deck. So now onto the Ghostricks engine. 3 Jiangshis, 2 Jack Frost. The reason I like Jack Frost is it allows you to get over a lot of cards by flipping them face downs. Things like Denko Sekka can hurt this deck. Although it doesn't see as much play anymore, it's still a pretty good card. I just like Jack Frost to be able to flip big monsters, problem monsters down to be able to get over the next turn. 2 Ghostricks Mary. She starts your loop of, if you take damage, you put down Jiangshi, and then you go into either Spectre or Jack Frost. And as I just said, 2 Spectre. All these cards create a decent loop to prevent yourself from taking a lot of damage, especially since you're not going to have a lot of monsters on the field except for on your turn. So, and it's something that people aren't expecting. So, really like the engine so far. That's it for monsters. Let's dive into spell cards. Obviously, 3 Fire Formation Tenki. You want to have multiple Yosenjus in your hand. And a lot of people doubted me when I built this deck because there's more than just Yosenju monsters. So they thought that you really couldn't get their effects off well, where Tenki allows you to do that. 3 Pot of Duality. You're not special summoning on your turn hardly ever in this deck. You'll special summon the Ghostricks on your opponent's turn, but it makes Pot of Duality completely live, and I still think that this is one of the better cards in the game. 2 Yosen Training Grounds. Don't like this card as much as I could, but if you do have multiple Yosenju, this card can get very nuts. And rounding out the spells, I have 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. Things like Mistake really hurt this deck, so you have to have the Mystical Space Typhoon to answer. And that's it for spells. A lot of people wonder why I'm not running any Mass Destruction, but I feel the Yosenjus do their job in getting rid of monsters, so I really don't have an issue with that. And my trap lineup also has answers to that as well. So, on to traps. 2 Yosenju Secret Move. Yes, I'm still running these because the Ghostricks monsters will always be face down, and if they are not face down, then you should not activate this card or summon other monsters. So say you have a Ghostricks Jiangshi, and you want to use its effect on your turn. You flip it up, and then immediately as the effect resolves, flip it back face down before you summon your Yosenju monsters. Therefore, that way this card is live. It's always good to have Solemns in the deck. 2 Mirror Force. Mass Destruction, there it is. I think Mirror Force is really good in a deck where you're not going to have a lot of field presence and you need to keep the life point damage low. 2 Breakthrough Skills. Still like this card better than Fiendish Chain. It's really player preference at this point in the game. And then the one-ofs, we have 1 Vanity's Emptiness and 1 Solemn Warning. I still think Solemn Warning is a really strong play in the game. And it allows for instant stops. Because of this counter trap, you don't have to worry about other cards stopping it unless they have things like Alpha Nova or, Yosenju Secret Move. But other than that, this card is really good for just getting rid of a monster and not even allowing a play to start and keeping yourself safe. Onto the extra deck. I haven't built the strongest extra deck for this because you really don't use it too much. Obviously, the rest of whatever's in here will be put up to player preference. Because if you wanted to build this deck, you have to realize that you're not going to want to sacrifice monsters for Exceeds because they all do so well on their own. So my rank 1s are the 2 Ghostricks Dullahands. If for whatever reason your Spectres or Marys or Jack Frost stay on the field, you can Exceed into this guy and then get one back. This is still a very strong Exceed card, especially if you have the ability to get to it. And then on to the rank 3s, I have 1 Ghostricks Alucard. Probably not going to put it out too much because the only rank 3s you have are Jiangshis, and if you're running into 2 Jiangshis, your best bet is to probably just keep using them for their effect. 1 Leviair. A lot of people are maining Macrocosmos and Defissure nowadays, especially with a lot of Ritual Beasts running around, making this card a lot more viable than it's been in past formats. So I really enjoy having that in the deck. And last but not least, probably my favorite rank 3 Exceed, and very underrated in my opinion, Astigolem. A lot of people find to hurt themselves with Astigolem, but my rule of thumb with this card is unless you are going to win the game with this, you probably shouldn't play it. And now on to rank 4s. We have Black Ship. Still like Black Ship. Honorarch is a good option too when exciting as well. I like Black Ship a lot. I like Berserk just to boost some monster attacks. Abyss Dweller, still a really strong card. And last but not least, Gaga Cowboy. Gaga Cowboy can single-handedly win you games. It's a win more card, and that's the reason that I find that it's pretty good in this deck, because this deck can push for a lot of damage in one turn, and they're all rank 4, so if you get the chance, you can always Exceed main phase 2 and deal that extra 800 damage. So that's the deck profile for you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments on it, leave them in the comment section below. You know I love to hear from you guys for any kinds of improvement changes or modifications that you think will make this deck better. And as always, guys, remember to subscribe. This is SlenderRevolutionX signing out, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.